to your listeners. So first of all, I'm a huge believer in the theory of marginal gains. Very rarely do organizations make one huge big decision that transforms it. Very rarely. There'll always be an example, right? There's always the example of war. But I would say if you can ensure that every day you're doing something better than the previous day, strategy essentially becomes what you do. And I genuinely believe that if everybody just does something better or different every day, the cumulative effect of that is enormous, right? So I would say to your listeners, think about marginal gains. If every day you can just take those small steps, that's enormous. You then mentioned communication, and I talk about communication, as you know, in the book quite a lot, but just for your listeners, I have found in my career that there are two types of people in terms of communication. There's those who say, actually, I'm going to prove to myself that I've got to communicate this message. Or are those like me who say, I'm going to tell everybody everything unless it is commercially sensitive. And I think if you start from a place where you treat people like adults, and one of my dad's favorite phrases is there are no unimportant people and there are no unimportant jobs. If you treat everybody as a colleague and you start with the premise of I'm going to share everything with everybody, then I think you're better off. There's nothing that annoys me more than my leaders saying to me, actually, they're not going to be interested. The cashier is not going to be interested in the strategy of the bank. Well, how do you know that? You don't know that, and you can't put yourself in their shoes. And actually, the leadership team has more integrity if you share everything with everybody, right? So that would be my sort of passionate plea on communication, all right? And then I think, sadly, you obviously mentioned recognition, and I agree with you totally. It just doesn't cost anything to write a little note, to pick up the phone, to say thank you to people, because then you're engaging with them. So